Hello and welcome back to the British Gaming Podcast, where the intro really does say the same every single time. It is the 21st of July 2015. This is Sam, of course. With me is Richie.
Hello.
Terry.
Hey, hey, hey.
And special guest, Richie's friend, James Chastney, aka Chaz.
Hello.
Right, so, Terry has given us one hell of a list of topics today.
He's done his job this week.
Yeah, he's done my job this week, and
he's done the research.
Oh yeah, he's done a very good job. So, first of all, we've got some announcements about the podcast, how our group videos are going to be hosted going forwards. FIFA 16, women's football, gender representation in video games. HoloLens, how could that look and work? Shenmue 3, yes, we're still banging on about it. Street Fighter V DLC will be available for free if you actually play through the game like you used to for old fighting games. Batman Arkham Knight, apparently there's still some PC drama going on with that. Prototype got a HD port, and it sucks. Blaziken is joining the Pokken roster, and if you don't know what Pokken is, hang on in there and you'll find out.
I can't wait. I have no idea what Pokken is.
Yeah, same.
PlayStation Now is in open beta in the UK, which is the PlayStation streaming service. What we've been playing this week, speaking of, Richie and Chaz apparently have a Let's Play together. We've got our fan questions of the week, and I actually had one submitted through my personal Facebook as a private message, which, guys, the comment section of YouTube, okay? And then wrapping up with my random question of the week. Whew. Terry, this is too many topics, man.
How are we going to squeeze this all in?
I'm tired already. Well, let's give it a go.
We'll give it a try.
Right.
Which one did we go with first? I think I mentioned FIFA 16 first.
Yeah. Well, basically, in the sports world, I know sports, every gamer's favourite subject. There's been kind of a bit of a hype around women's sports a lot lately. Like with football, there was the Women's World Cup recently. In wrestling, I know it's not sports, but sports entertainment, they've been doing a whole big thing about it. There's lots of hype around Ronda Rousey. So it's kind of a big sort of talking point at the moment. And, I mean, with FIFA 16 sort of taking this approach to putting a female footballer on the front cover this year, having women's football as a prominent part of the game, like, you know, women's representation in video games has been an ongoing talking point for a lot of cultural studies and game studies people for years now, and it's still an ongoing thing. And I don't know, it just seems like there could be a paradigm shift occurring as time is passing at the moment, like what we're observing right now.
So you can tell Terry wrote the topic list today.
Done all the research as well.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've got a fair bit of research on this because during my third year of uni dissertation, bear in mind, not a lot of game design books floating around, especially those that many years ago. Pretty much everyone in my course wrote their dissertation on gender representation in games, while I chose to write about video games as a learning technology, it being used in the military, gamification for training within private companies, so on and so forth. So yeah, there was a lot of talk about it back then. There's still a lot of talk about it here and now. If you ever visit the Feminist Frequency Twitter, my god, they don't shut up about it. I annoyed them because I tweeted them saying, okay, I get you're unhappy that women are depicted in unrealistic proportions, etc. in video games. However, I sure as hell do not look like Solid Snake, He-Man, Jinkazama, Ryu. I think that's an unrealistic body shape for us to aspire to. So it works both ways.
I know a few people that look like Bob from Tekken, though, so is that alright?
Terry, you could almost fall on that list some days.
Hey,
I've been exercising.
I try.
Yeah, if I'm looking at this stuff right, they actually put a female footballer on the cover, but it's a different one. I believe the US gets one of the front runners from their football team, and Canada's getting one of the front runners from their female football team. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of looked that up a bit briefly. I mean, my main tangent was sort of mainly about the gender rant that I just kind of blurted out a moment ago. But I mean, Yeah, but I mean, in terms of who specifically is on the cover, I know there are some different variants, but I don't know the names.
The
Oh
problem with
god,
this
video
story
games have
is
variant covers.
the problem with this story is it's a story that shouldn't really be a story, isn't it? We shouldn't be so
Yeah.
amazed that in this day and age that a woman's going to be on the front of a sports game, and it's just incredible that it is such a big deal.
I mean, my perspective is,
Yeah.
well, it's about time.
Does
Oh,
that say
absolutely,
something
yeah.
about does that say something about video games, or does that say something about women's sports? I mean, we
I think
don't
both.
we get a lot of men's, American football, rugby, even F1 is mostly a male sport. We get video games for them. I've never seen a video game for, badminton 2016.
I'd play that. I love badminton, solid sport. Either way,
Have we ever had a badminton video game?
I don't know. I think the
That
closest
needs
we've
to be a
had,
thing.
I'm on the case. I'll look it up.
we get
Please
tennis
do.
I think-
games. I think there's
It's
been
not
I
the
think
same.
there's
I
been
think based on what Richie said, it's really interesting that it's an issue. I think I remember late last year there was a study published where they kind of said that actually women or females as a share of gamers has now gone above kind of half for first time. So there's more females who identify as a gamer than males now. And being as gaming is kind of quite a young audience, it's quite a liberal audience. It's quite unusual for me to kind of, I don't know, to like Richie said, it's kind of a non-issue. But that being said, for a big company like EA to put their money behind something like that, it's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something we've never been particularly aware of. I don't think it's been on our radar before because we're guys, we're in everything anyway, But I looked for, obviously Maya's getting 3 years old in August, which is going to be weird, and games are free and up, so been looking, and it's all like even Rayman is a guy. Technically, she'll play it, but he's a guy.
Yeah.
The only stuff
think
I
it's
can
kind of
find is like, PlayStation 1, Ashley and Mary Kate dress up, Barbie horse riding.
I think it's kind of interesting that EA are sort of behind, sort of. Yeah, I wouldn't say positive. I guess a sort of standard representation of women, really, because to say positive means that they're getting special treatment, which isn't the case here at all. It's just standard treatment, basically. I mean, but on top of that as well, if you look at like Mass Effect as well and Mirror's Edge, like they've kind of got that going on as well. I don't know if EA have sort of cottoned on that they're kind of inadvertently getting themselves a bit of good publicity here, or they have the chance to really sort of play on that.
Well, the thing about EA is whether or not you love them or hate them, and let's face it, a lot of people do hate them and a lot of people do love them. They've never been a company that have been afraid to push the bar. Like they've done a lot of things that have given them negative press, but they did them and they took the chance, they took the opportunity to try them, like the whole sort of always online DRM and SimCity and all that sort of stuff. Like they're not the first company to be implementing DRM, but they're the first ones to really push it to the limit. And they're very much a company who's not afraid to put the money where the mouth is in a lot of cases.
I think they're behind season passes as well.
Well, exactly. That's just another example, isn't it? It's another thing that we don't necessarily agree with, but they've been the forefront of it.
Just before anyone else already gets suck it, Assassin's Creed Unity. Women are too hard to put into video games.
Also, for the record, I can't find a badminton game apart from Flash games, disappointingly.
Really? Have you been sat there doing a little Google search about badminton
I have been
games?
Google searching, yes, while you've been chatting away.
Well, you do
I
programming,
bet it'll
do
be in
3D
like an
modeling.
Olympics game.
I've managed to find a
I bet
PlayStation
it'll
3
be an
game
Olympics game.
called Move Racket Sports, but I don't think it's exclusively badminton. I think you can play badminton in it, but I don't know how good it is.
Right, so badminton's there, just on the sidelines, like, hello, I exist too.
I'm going to watch a video of it, see what I think.
Okay, fair enough. Just not through your speakers, because your mic will pick up on that. Also,
No, it's fine, I've got my headphones on.
you're meant to be paying attention to the podcast.
I am.
Okay. But yeah, women have always been in games. It's just, obviously they say unfairly. I mean, they look at Blaze, for example, in Streets of Rage. Hey, I don't look like Axel from Streets of Rage. They look at Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. Nearest comparison to that is Nathan Drake in Uncharted. I don't look like him either. In fact, I know very few people who do. it's one of those things where how they're represented, it sort of works both ways, to be honest. But we
Oh yeah.
do.
It's the same. It's the same in any media, isn't it? You know, you've got TV shows, movies, magazines. Everyone is always an incredibly beautiful, an impossibly beautiful person, male or female.
Yeah.
You know, it's the industry, isn't it?
You
Well,
make a good point though. It's the whole idea about the media, isn't it? Like the media, you watch something to escape from reality. So you play video games to be the hero, to be the guy you couldn't be in real life because it's not physically possible.
Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger has proven that with enough steroids, it's physically possible.
Oh yeah, but he may look like a superhero, but he can't do any of sort of the things you can do in superhero games. Let's
Arnold
be fair.
Schwarzenegger as Batman. That would be
All
a
right,
chunky
fair
Batman.
point.
That I
That's
would
like,
watch.
that's like a Dark Knight Returns Batman.
Oh my god, can you imagine Schwarzenegger playing Batman? Actually, I'm having horrible flashbacks of him as Mr. Freeze. Let's move on from that, actually.
Okay. Should we keep the Batman tangent, though? I mean, Arkham Knight PC patch is coming in August, and this actually made me laugh because Electronics Boutique, apparently they're still going in Australia. They're no longer going in the UK, haven't been for years. But they actually sent their stock of physical PC copies and PC download codes back to Warner Brothers because an internal memo leaked about it confirming they were being recalled, and it said that Warner Brothers had said the PC version would not be fixed until the spring. And an absolute shitstorm happened on the internet because they were like, spring? That's 6 months away. That's nearly 9 months away, even. What am I saying? And then they reminded everybody, hold on, Australian spring. You know, like their Christmas is like our midsummer. So actually, we mean like August.
Ah.
Kind of amused me, I gotta say.
It's not like the internet to jump into something without checking the facts first.
Oh yeah,
Oh, never.
no one ever does that.
Yeah.
It
Well,
is ridiculous, though. The
I'm
game
still,
shouldn't.
I'm still playing the first one you bought me at the moment. So
How far are you now?
I have played it a little bit more actually before we came onto this podcast, and I'm still enjoying it. At the moment, I've got to save the Batmobile, but I haven't quite got to it yet.
So you've not seen Scarecrow yet?
I have not.
Let me know when you've seen Scarecrow.
It's getting close.
Is he? I take it from that then,
Yeah.
Chaz, you have played through.
I've played the first one, most of the second one, on 360. I recently picked them up in the Steam sale, and I've started playing the first one again. I'm going to play through them.
Excellent pair of games. Pick up Arkham Knight eventually because it wraps everything up quite nicely, but let them fix the problems first, or just skip all the drama and get it on console.
I mean,
I'll just wait.
I've
I'll
been
just wait
playing.
until it's £2.74 in the sale.
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing the PC version, and it's been very playable for me so far.
Yeah, you seem to
It's
be
weird.
like the 1% that haven't had
Well,
any
I mean,
problems.
there's little issues here and there that are irritating, like when you're going from a cutscene moment to a gameplay moment, there's a little sort of freeze in between there, like those sorts of things. A little bit of VSync issue, so sometimes there's a little bit of a flicker. Just some of the textures just look a bit crappy because of some of the resolutions, but I mean it's very playable and it looks about as good as Arkham Origins PC does. So you know it
It'll
looks
do.
good enough for me to enjoy. Yeah.
Well, speaking of poorly made ports, Prototype HD 1 and 2, I believe it's being sold as a bundle pack, but it sort of slipped without any fanfare or announcement onto the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Live Store. Eurogamer's Digital Foundry absolutely tore it apart. Apparently the frame rate even on the first game is like between 20 and 30 FPS. There's visible screen tearing. There's not really been any updates made to the models or the textures. And for a, near launch-ish game for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, how it's running on PS4 and Xbox One is entirely inexcusable.
On top of that as well, they also received PC versions, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So, exactly. So, with the architecture of PC being very similar to the new consoles, porting it over should be such an easy job, ridiculously easy. Like I think they brought out around sort of Windows Vista 7 kind of time as well. So it should be such an easy task to get them working on PS4 and Xbox One.
you would think. However, there was a Kickstarter recently, and the name of the game escapes me right now, where they said they would do a console port, but didn't specify which console. And when people asked about it, they said, well, if you back it now, when the funding's complete and we've got your money, we'll send out a survey, and you can put your preference for an PS4 or Xbox One port, because apparently, despite it having PC architecture, it does take a long time and has a surprising amount of work involved.
I think that a lot of that, though, is
Red
more the red
Ash.
tape
Keiji
and
Inafune's
paperwork.
Red Ash. That was the game. Sorry. Apparently they learnt from Mighty Number 9 that despite the architecture, it's not as simple to port as they thought, and that's why they only want to do the most popular console first. Which means put your money down, and if you want a console version, really hope you have a PS4, because the people voting for that are going to way outnumber the Xbox One users, judging by the sales of the actual hardware.
See, this is the thing. I've never. The thing with console exclusives for me is that I've never wanted a game bad enough to drop another 400 quid on a console.
No?
I don't know if it's not rich enough, or if I don't care enough. But I'd consider myself a pretty big gamer. I've played most AAA titles, certainly most AA titles that have come out in the last 10 years. Sometimes a hell of a lot, and I've owned a lot of consoles. Never go and I wouldn't go and buy a PS3 to go play Uncharted when I had my 360. I just wouldn't have done it.
But you won't. Due to HD remasters like this, the idea is that you won't have to, because Sony are very aware that a lot of people went 360 last generation, and that's why we're getting things like the Nathan Drake collection, which is Uncharted 1, 2, 3 remastered, prettied up, running at a faster frame rate on the PlayStation 4. So that
And a
people
Forza
like you, so that people like you can get caught up. The same for like The Last of Us remastered. But things like this prototype port, which admittedly seems to be one of the laziest ones we've seen. Are you, as someone who, and Richie, you're looking to jump up a console as well, where you're waiting for something worth the console to come out, are all of these remasters and ports of previous generation games putting you off, or...
I think personally there's two things for me. I think that the consoles are not consoles anymore. They seem to be kind of mediums to sell me Sky TV or make me watch music videos that I don't care about and that kind of stuff. And I honestly can do pretty much. I can do all that on my computer. I've got a PC. I don't need that stuff on my Xbox. And there really hasn't been any titles that I couldn't just get on the PC anyway. So It kind of just feels like I don't need a console anymore, and that the consoles that are out there seem a bit broken and not that focused on being video game consoles anymore.
I'm going to disagree with that. Not disagree, but I suppose my opinion is a bit different to that. I like the experience of having a console. I think I love my PC, and I think my PC is probably my favourite thing that I can play games on. But I like the experience of having a console. I like being able to sit and connect it to the TV and sit on the sofa and do all that, because I can't really. I probably could plug my PC into my TV if I really wanted to, but then I've got to get a keyboard and a mouse, and I've got to load up Windows and all that, and it's just a bit of a hassle really. Whereas with an Xbox or a PS4, push the power button and you go. In answer to your question, Sam, yeah, I've got nothing against HD collections. In fact, I quite like HD collections. I've no problem with those at all. But at the moment, there's nothing on either console that makes me willing to sort of shell out the money. I mean, I still
need to send you that list.
You do. You haven't done me that list yet.
Yeah.
You've done me lots of lists, but you haven't done me that list. As you know, I really, really do want to get Rock Band 4, and that comes out in October. The biggest problem I have, as you know, we've discussed this a few times on the podcast, is that if I go PS4 this generation, I lose all my DLC from the Xbox 360 version. But at the same time, I can also see why the PS4 is a better choice than the Xbox One. So it's a bit of a catch for me. I don't really know which way to go. I don't know if it's worth sacrificing the DLC for a better console and probably going forward a better library of games. But
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think it's what the manufacturers kind of bank on, isn't it? Because how many people do you know who have had an Android phone for 10 years and then switched to an iPhone, or vice versa? you get kind of invested in, or like with cameras, Canon versus Nikon, like you get in,
Yeah, very true.
and it's really difficult to tear yourself away from that. Like if I was going to get a console, I'd probably just get an Xbox One without even thinking about it because I had a 360, you know. But
Although
that's not
Richie's
necessarily the right thing to
talking,
do.
like, it's not like universally all of his games and his DLC carry over. What we're looking at here is one specific game that he
Yeah.
happens to have spent an ungodly amount of money on,
Don't
Yes.
ask.
which
Don't ask.
which also happens to be pretty much the only one that is letting that DLC carry forward. And now they're not even saying it will be at launch. Now you gotta wait for it.
Oh yeah, I know. And it's not even like my instruments are necessarily going to work straight away either.
Right,
They
so
might take a bit of time.
you got all of those songs. My question to you would be, how often do you go back and play them all?
At the moment, not very often, and that's less to do with me not wanting to play the game and more the effort of setting up the hardware, I must admit.
Oh dear. And
And it's
Chaz,
also because I don't have people over very often, and it's very much a party game.
okay, I blame Chaz for both of those things. Chaz, I blame you for not going over his more often.
So do I.
And second of all,
Even though you were here yesterday.
And second of all, I know that for several of those DLC purchases, you would have been stood over his shoulder watching, potentially even egging him on, going, "Yeah, we can play that song, it'll be good."
Very possibly.
Yeah.
I can't
Probably true,
confirm
yeah,
or deny.
Probably true. I cannot comment.
Confirm or deny.
But at the same time, I can see the sentiment. When I switched last generation from the PlayStation 3 to the Xbox 360, admittedly I did spend time rebuying games that I'd had on the 360, and I do kind of miss Tony Hawk's HD because I refuse to pay for that again to download it from the PlayStation Store, because I had that on XBLA. But you just got to weigh it up, and you're talking about a singular multiple experiences, but using the same title, versus your overall gaming experience for this entire console generation.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem. I mean, do I go Xbox One because of Rock Band DLC, or do I go PS4 for the obviously greater overall experience? That's the problem I face.
I would say the many outweigh the few.
Yeah,
I'd,
you're probably
I'd
right.
say at the moment, if as you've got a capable PC, I'd give it another few months for more exclusives to come out.
I'm not planning on getting it soon. I mean, as much as I want Rock Band 4, I'm willing to wait for it. It's not going to go anywhere if I don't buy it on release day. So
There are some great bundles for PlayStation 4s at the moment because the 1TB edition of the console just came out, which
I saw
everybody's trying to sell. But at the same time, that means they've got all these 500GB models, which are just sort of taking up space. So the prices on those are being slashed just to get them out the door. So, if anything, I wouldn't say wait a couple of months. I would say act now while those retailers are like, we just want the 1TB ones on the shelf. We don't want these 500 gig ones hanging around in the store anymore. And just take advantage of their need to shift it, because supply and demand right now, the demand is for the 1TB one.
Is it though? Is it though? Because I mean, whenever I go, I mean, it's not very often I visit sort of actual physical game shops, but I never really see the smaller consoles taking much of a cut in terms of prices and things like that when new ones come out. Or like when slim versions come out, the old ones don't seem to lose their price value.
It's certainly what I've been seeing out in the southwest of England.
Maybe I should be looking there. I'm looking in the wrong place.
Well, East Anglia, you guys are always about 10 years behind anyway. You're still trying to figure out what the moon is.
It takes so long to get anything into here on our single carriageways. We can't ship it out again.
Oh no, you've got a double carriageway through Elvedon now.
That's very true. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a road now.
Yeah, normal road.
I come home to visit too often. What were we originally talking about?
I don't know,
Masters.
Yeah.
Yes, prototype, right.
So prototype, yeah, essentially the frame rate it dips below playable levels quite a bit to like 20 FPS and less at times, which is pretty bad. And I don't know who the hell said yes, let's release this.
I think they knew about the quality because of the fact that they just quietly slipped it onto the online stores and slowly creeped away, you know?
Yeah, I get the feeling it was a project that by the end of it they were just like, well, we're not being given any more budget to improve this project, and we really don't want to be applying much budget to marketing this. Just slip it on there, see what we can hope for.
It's like a cat bringing a dead bird in, knowing that it's done wrong and knowing that you have no interest in the dead bird, putting it down on the floor like, but it's a present, and then just slowly walking away backwards.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Speaking of performance issues, no, that's not going to be a sex joke. PlayStation Now is an open beta in the UK. I, for one, have absolutely zero interest in ever using it. Two reasons. One, the pricing. I can pay $4.99 to rent Bioshock Infinite for 2 whole days, or I can pop into town and pay $4.99 for a physical copy on disc that I can keep forever. And two would be the fact that only 88% of the UK has fibre optic broadband, and I am in the 12% that does not, meaning I can't really stream the games all that well anyway. Which is also why Richie hosts these Skype calls instead of me.
Yes, with my 88
So
megabytes or whatever it is.
Yes.
Download speed.
So can I just ask then? It's basically the Netflix for video games is what they've launched.
Yes.
That's what they're aiming
essentially, you never download the game. It's
Right.
basically a cloud gaming service. So what you're seeing on screen is a streaming video of the game operating remotely, and it's using the internet to send your button inputs to the game and back.
Have I missed something here, or were they not going to do this on PS3? Have I missed something?
Yeah,
PlayStation
no,
Now-
it's coming to multiple devices. It should be coming to PS3, PS Vita, and PS4.
Oh, I thought it already existed.
Some
And it's also
TVs
coming to
as well.
it's coming to
Yeah.
TVs.
Oh,
It's
know that.
been out in the US a while. The US have already had this for...
maybe that's what I'm thinking of then. Maybe I'm getting confused.
I think they've had like a year on us or something. But, I mean, it's not the first time this kind of thing has been tried. We had OnLive in the past, and we all saw how that worked out.
Yeah, so now Sony are thinking, oh, we want to try that.
Well, I think they actually purchased OnLive's technology. So, for you, Chaz, you said, you're not sure that you jump from Xbox to PlayStation. There are two things. Obviously, the PlayStation Plus subscription gives you 6 free games a month. I know Xbox are now copying that with games with gold, but PlayStation had it first. And the PlayStation Now service would allow you to relatively cheaply experience a lot of the back catalogue that you missed out on. Do either of those two things make the PlayStation 4 more tempting for you?
No.
No.
And I'll tell you for I'll
Next
tell you
question.
for why.
I'll tell you for why. Oh, that's a
I'll
Norfolk
tell you why.
phrase.
Now listen here, Sonny.
Oi,
Because
tell ya.
I just don't think there's anything to... Yeah. To be sure, that's wrong. So
Right,
I
boyo.
just looking here quickly,
Ooh,
you mentioned Bioshock Infinite there. Just having
Yeah.
a quick Google, it's previously been $7 on Steam, which would make it what, £4?
Yeah,
So-
give or take, yeah.
The Steam sales rock around every few months,
Yeah.
so I can pick up back catalog games very easily. So there's no issue really of me getting hold of games that I want to play.
Mm.
And the second thing really is you've got an issue of quantity versus quality. I can get 6 games a month, paying a fee, etc. But are they all shit? Do I actually even want to play them?
Here's
I
the
don't
problem.
get to choose them.
You used to get like 2 pretty good games, maybe a hidden gem, and then you'd get filler. Now you mostly just get filler. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's-
it doesn't seem like it would be worth it.
As opposed to games with gold, where A, if you stopped your subscription, you still keep the game on your account, and B, they've actually been providing pretty decent games. For instance, I think it was last month, Xbox One owners got Assassin's Creed 4 completely free, for instance. Well, not completely free, they're paying for Xbox Live. They got it complimentary.
Yeah, it
Yeah, see,
was.
I've always thought games with gold has had better games from what I've seen.
If you look at the
Yeah.
history, the games for PlayStation Plus were so good for like the first 2, maybe 3 years, and then it just went downhill because they were like, right, we've got the subscriber base now, so fuck it, basically.
They've also given away all the good ones.
Yeah, there's no good games left.
This
they've
is
run
the
out.
issue. I mean, the PlayStation 4's still relatively young, and the library is still relatively small. They've given away Injustice Gods Among Us, and they've given away Infamous First Light, and and Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. That's about it.
But then Ground Zeroes, I still don't count that as a demo.
That is, believe it or not, that's the 3rd time I've owned that game.
Third.
Yeah, I got it as a leaving present from a previous job on PlayStation 3. Then when I bought my PlayStation 4, Ground Zeroes was one of the games that came with it, so I gave my PS3 copy to my little brother. And then, year and change after that, it was part of PlayStation Plus. So, yeah, digital download copy makes it the 3rd time I've owned it.
I spent like £6 on it on Steam and then beat it in 75 minutes, and after that I was like, well, okay, I guess that's better than like going for a couple of pints.
My
I
first,
guess with that kind of money.
my first run without
You're not
cheating.
going to get 2 pints for £6. Don't kid yourself.
Oh, Weatherspoons do.
Yeah.
Fair point.
But then you're
First-
not really sure if you want a Weatherspoons pint.
Yeah. The downside to that is you have to go to Weatherspoons.
Yeah, they're not fun. It's like the equivalent of going to Hungry Horse. For, anyone in the West Country.
Hey, we
Who
have
are-
one here.
Yeah,
You have a Hungry
I
Horse
think we
in
have got a
Norfolk
Hungry
now?
Horse here. Yeah, I think we have.
Oh, wow. They're branching
can't say
out.
I
Weatherspoon's got
haven't
to
been.
watch out.
Yeah.
Why are we
Approaching.
talking about family pub chains? Moving swiftly on. Street Fighter
Street
5.
Fighter DLC. Yes.
Good segue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just completely right. Let's just jump.
We're fighting our way into gaming topics.
Well, hey!
Hey!
Hey.
So...
Yeah. So
you-
from what I've read earlier, it sounds like instead of Capcom doing the bullshit of, hey, we're going to hold back some characters on the disc and make you pay for this content that's on the disc, it sounds like it's basically going to be a case of you just unlock them by playing the game the way it should be and has always been before Capcom and other companies started doing this bullshit.
See, this is another one of these things, like we said about the football thing earlier. This is another one of these non-issues that shouldn't be an issue, but it is.
Yeah, it shouldn't have become an issue in the first place.
We shouldn't
Ahead
be
of
so
this
excited
discussion.
about the idea of it.
Ahead of this discussion, I was trying to think of the last time that I unlocked characters through progression in a fighting game instead of having to pay for the extra characters. And the last genuine example I can come up with is Tekken 3 on the PlayStation 1. I can't remember playing a fighting game since then where I've not had to fork over money for additional characters.
Did you not play 4 and 5 then?
No, I didn't. I skipped pretty much every PlayStation 2 entry of Tekken.
No, that's a shame. They're the best ones.
I think I had Tekken Tag Tournament, where everyone was unlocked from the start, and then I don't
Nope.
think I bought another Tekken game until Tekken Tag Tournament 2 on the PlayStation 3.
No, Tag Tournament, you still had to unlock everyone.
Did you? Okay, Tekken Tag Tournament then. Even so, that's quite a while.
Yeah. I mean, the last one I can think of from actually playing the game is,
One
I guess,
moment.
Smash Bros.
Whoever's got their phone near their mic, please throw your phone across the room. Thank you. Continue.
But yeah, I mean, no, there's still companies doing unlockable things in games. I mean, Nintendo are doing good with that with Smash Bros. At the moment. Hyrule Warriors is another one. Mario Kart 8. Yeah, I mean, it's still out there in places. It's just harder to find.
There was a very
nowadays.
Nintendo theme with that list.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Wii U
Here's
fanboy over
They'd
here.
stop doing it if people stopped paying.
Essentially.
That's another funny thing about the internet. People are like, "Oh, this is bullshit. Oh, fuck you, Nintendo. Oh, I'm not doing it. Oh, where's my credit card? I need to buy this character." Like, if people stop, they'd stop doing it.
Well, another example of where games have everything unlocked from the start. I mean, it's a bit different, obviously, to a fighting game, but like the Rock Band and Guitar Hero series. I mean, you guys know when you sort of played Guitar Hero 1, Guitar Hero 2, etc. You didn't start with all the songs unlocked. You had to unlock them through progression by playing the story mode and things like that. But when they hit Rock Band 3, they threw that formula out the window and had all the songs unlocked from the start. And with all the Guitar Hero series like World Tour and whatever the other ones were called.
Here's the issue. Like, when I have everyone unlocked from the start, you give me no incentive to play through arcade or any other mode.
Well, it kills the replay value, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I'm less likely to play as those characters. Like, Dr. Boskonovich in Tekken 3 sucks. He really sucks. So does Gon. But I worked for those characters, and I'll be damned if I wasn't going to play as them.
Oh, Gon was the best, though, because no one could ever hit him.
Exactly. He was a cheap character.
Exactly. It's exactly what he was.
You may as well replace him with Oddjob.
And he could just start fart on everyone
I was
as
going to
well.
say, how is he farting on people in that game?
Okay, Dr. Boskonovich, though, that stands.
One of my fondest childhood memories, farting as people as a little orange dinosaur.
Or as a skinny green alien.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like Richie said, with the women thing, this isn't something that should even be an issue. Like, the standard should be, hey, you beat arcade mode 10 times, here's a new character. Not, hey, go get mummy's credit card, here's another character. Because the people who buy DLC are, I find very rarely people like us who are quite jaded and bitter and cynical towards it. It tends to be kids. Like, in the team I work in, one of the girls actually got a call from their 15-year-old son, and it was, you want what? Some maps, so you can play with your friends. Well, I already bought you the game, didn't I? And clearly talking about COD or Halo or something to that effect. And it's just like, no, don't give him your card details, no!
The problem is, the games are quite clever about that, aren't they? Much like sort of Halo and things like that. If you don't have the maps, you get locked out and essentially socially excluded from people who do.
Oh, yeah.
So
you get
I mean,
left
you could
behind
be,
by your peers.
Yeah,
hey!
you could get excluded from playing with your friends just because you don't own a particular map pack.
Double EXP weekend on this map. Oh, don't own the Mythic map pack? Well, no double EXP weekend for you. Oh, look, John's online. He's playing on the double weekend. Wouldn't it be great if you could go play with your friend John? Yeah, if only you had that Mythic map pack.
It's clever and it's horrible at the same time. It's clever, but it's cruel.
I mean, Yeah, it really is. I think there's levels. I mean, I would be okay with paying for a map pack for a game that I'd sunk a lot of hours into. You've got some people that have got, a couple of thousand hours in Halo, and you think, okay, another 10 quid is a pretty investment for. But you've got a game like, I don't know, Candy Crush or, all those sorts of things, or the little iPad games and stuff, and you end up spending 50, 60 quid on your farm. And
free to play,
that doesn't,
pay to win.
Pay to win, yeah. That doesn't seem like a good investment. But if you've got a few hundred hours in a game that you're constantly playing, it does seem like a good investment.
See, this is why I like Counter-Strike, what they're doing at the moment, where you can play a lot of community maps.
Yeah.
Or The Witcher 3, which is giving out 3 expansions and DLC, which rival the size of the entirety of The Witcher 2.
Wow.
For free.
And that's a lot about it, isn't it? It's the actual size of the content you're paying for. Like, if you're paying £15 for 3 new maps and Call of Duty, the problem with that is you spend so much time in these games not paying attention to the map anyway. Like, who cares what the map looks like? You only want to run around shooting people anyway. But if, as you say, if
you
you're
will get me on a level design rant, and I will explain every single reason that you're wrong if you continue pushing that button. My advice would be not to push that button.
I'm not talking necessarily about everybody. I'm talking about kind of the people who market sort of the map packs and things like that too don't necessarily care what the map looks like.
Oh, no, no,
Not,
no, no, no. They care where the choke points are. They care where the vantage points are. They
Maybe
care where the
so.
weapon
But
spawns
do they
are.
care? Do they care what color the grass is? Probably not. So I mean, that's one end of it. But then you get the other end where you get DLC
Actually,
things
whether
like
they care about the color of the grass depends on what color camo they like wearing.
fair point, fair point. But I mean, then
I'm
you
sorry,
get
I will destroy you on this if you continue.
fine, whatever. And then you get things like DLC for like sort of Fallout and things like that, which is supposed to sort of whether or not you think they're worth the money is, I suppose, is debatable. But then they kind of try and expand on the game rather than just adding on.
Let's rag on Arkham Knight some more. Batgirl DLC is now available to non-season pass holders unless you're on PC, because screw PC apparently. It is £5.79 for what amounts to 40 minutes of gameplay, and Barbara Gordon plays like a Batman reskin. She doesn't feel unique or special in any way, shape or form. The Red
What?
Hood... Oh yeah. The Red Hood stuff, exclusive to pre-orders at Game in the UK and GameStop in the US. That edition of the game was like an extra £10. You can beat the Red Hood story DLC in 10 minutes. The exact same is true for the Harley Quinn story DLC, about 12 minutes for me to beat. Really not substantial.
This is another thing that I absolutely hate. When did Arkham Knight come out? Like a month ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, something
And
like that.
there's already DLC out? That's
what was it,
come
the
on.
16th of June? Something like that? Mid-June.
It's like, come on. So you're talking, what, 4 or 5 weeks, and we've already got... Well, we've just taken 50 quid. We're going to ask for another 6 quid off you.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I mean,
You know.
literally from the start of them promoting the damn game, it's been, hey, you get this pre-order bonus if you pre-order now. Like, it's all been a big DLC hole. Warner Brothers have just been really crap in their practices in regards to how they're treating the Arkham games.
All right, Terry, I'm
Yeah.
going to use an example that you're going to hate. I know you love the Far Cry series. Far Cry 4, the Herc's Redemption pre-order DLC, was advertised before we'd seen a single screenshot of the game.
Dude, I'm the last person who's going to be defending Ubisoft, believe me, so carry on.
Fair enough. By the way, Assassin's Creed Unity! It was broken, guys! They gave away what would have been paid DLC for free to make up for the broken launch, and then the DLC was broken when it came out.
Wow.
What a time we live in for gaming.
Yeah. And seriously, whoever's phone that is, I will reach through the internet and throttle you. I will
not your
be really
internet, you won't.
embarrassed if it turns out to be my phone.
Yeah, you won't be reaching through your internet connection. It'll take you a week.
I'll get there eventually. Just like one of your other halves walk into your room and like, why are there hands coming out of the monitor? Just like a week later.
Just Sam again. You know what he's like.
He started sending himself last week.
I could post myself to you faster.
Not with the Royal Mail, you couldn't.
No, true. I'm still waiting on stuff to arrive through that.
Well, you could always use Yodel. They're reliable, right?
They'll drop you off with the neighbour in the bin somewhere.
Speaking of arrivals, we do have a new fighter for Pokken, which is sort of like a Pokemon version of Tekken that doesn't quite play like Tekken. It's a Pokemon fighting game, in short.
Yeah, from what I've seen of the video so far, it actually kind of puts me in mind of the 3D Dragon Ball Z fighting games in the way it looks like it handles.
Or like Battle of Z, or...
more like sort of Tenkaichi, Budokai, that kind of thing.
Oh, Tenkaichi was good.
Yeah, no, that's why it's got my interest. I mean, it would work really well, that kind of sort of style. I mean, you know, it's basically a case of firing projectiles at each other most of the time, or doing physical attacks. So,
is it a fighting game like sort of Tekken, Street Fighter, or more like Smash Brothers?
Neither.
Yeah.
It seems to be used for a lot of Japanese fighting games, so like J-Star's Ultimate Victory Versus, which, yeah, that's a mouthful. Most of the Naruto fighting games now, like, what's it called? Ultimate Storm now? I think that's their current series, because I've had 4 or 5 of the damn things. Yeah. Seems to be very similar to that, from what I've seen. Or Final Fantasy Dissidia. Kind of got that kind of vibe. in a way.
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
other one. It was on the tip of my tongue. Uh,
I don't expect Richie or Chaz to know what any of those games are or play like.
You beat me to it.
Because
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I
yeah.
take it Sam never got either of you guys to get on Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi in the past, or Raging Blast or anything.
Oh, come on, it takes a week to teach someone the damn controls.
Dude, you like shoved me straight into a match against you and then just like thrashed the hell out of me on my first match, and then laughed at me for being bad at a Dragon Ball game.
Yeah, I know, it was beautiful.
Sam doesn't take competition lightly. We should know this by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, the bastard's still one up on me.
Oh, yeah! On that note, we will be having our Sonic Free race probably tomorrow evening, and we may have a special guest with us. It's looking like 99.9% positive. I'm just waiting on like a final thing. Speaking of, I was meant to, at the start of this podcast, talk about what's happening going forward. And I'm sorry, I'm going to take us away from Blaziken joining Pokken, and I doubt we'll get back onto it. So if anyone's got anything
To be
more...
fair, there's not much more else to say. I was just going to talk a bit that so far there's about 7, 8 other characters announced on the roster. More to come. We'll be reading up on this because it looks pretty awesome.
I'm keeping an eye on this. I've just watched a video of it, and it looks interesting, so I'll be keeping an eye on that.
Blaziken's joining Pokken. Wait for more news. Great.
Yeah.
So, the group videos that we do, so that'd be things like this podcast and our races, are going to go on a brand new channel dedicated to the British Gaming Blog. So we run a website called thebritishgamingblog.co.uk where we occasionally post articles, but most of the time post links to these YouTube videos. It's then going to have its own dedicated YouTube channel where the podcasts will go. So this will be the final podcast hosted on my channel. Although, I don't know, guys, maybe we should do the next episode after this on my channel as well, with me talking about this at the start instead of halfway through, so that everybody actually catches the damn news. It was stupid of me to place it here, admittedly. So things like solo projects will still remain on our individual channels. So,
however, this new channel will have a liked videos playlist of each of our individual projects. So you'll still be able to find them through their channels playlists.
You will. It's also got unfeatured channels, all 3 of our channels, so you can subscribe to us, find us through that central hub.
Which you should.
Yeah, absolutely. And our solo videos will still be posted on britishgamingblog.co.uk, where you'll be able to find them as well. So you've got no excuse for not being able to find anything, alright? Now, group videos, so a race would go on British Gaming Blog's channel. The loser of that race doing their forfeit Let's Play solo would go on their individual solo channel. So, Richie has to do a forfeit Let's Play of Sonic Drift for losing Sonic CD.
Yeah, it's still to be done.
Yeah,
it's in the works.
You lost without any grace as well. It was brilliant.
It was miserable. It was a miserable failure.
It ends with Benny Hill theme music for those who haven't seen it. It was that bad. Anyway, so like his Sonic Drift Let's Play will be on his solo channel, not the group British Gaming Blog channel. I will be hosting my shows still on my solo channel, so there'll be things like Game Design and Theory, which is coming back for a second season. The first episode of that second season should be up this week, and I'm going to try and keep to a video a month. We'll see how that goes. Remade, Repackaged, Rebooted, where I look at old games and their newer counterparts. Think Tomb Raider to Tomb Raider Anniversary, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey to Oddworld New and Tasty, or Resident Evil to, well, Resident Evil, as well as video game comics, which is exactly what it says on the tin, looking at comics based on video games. Terry will be doing his solo videos, which will be freebie of the month. He still needs to do his July one, and he's running out of time because we're the 21st today.
Oh no, I've already decided what it's going to be. I'll tell you after the recording. I won't give it away for the fans.
You sure you don't want to give it a plug? Considering at the moment you have no fans.
Oh, I'm his fan.
No,
Leave him alone.
No, I mean, I'll tell you about the freebie. Well, the freebie of the month kind of gives it away in the title. I find one free game, show you a bit of footage of it, give you a bit of an insight as to how it plays, and just kind of basically say, hey, play this game sort of thing. I've done one so far on Electronic Rush. My next one, like I say, I don't really want to give it away what the game is. Yeah, I want that to be a surprise. On top of that as well, on my channel, there will be some non-game related stuff, such as a series called Gentlemanly Scientists that me and a colleague are working on. So that'll be upcoming in a few months. Very silly humour. I won't go too much into that right now for you because it's still early days.
Okay. So there's Terry. I mean, this is just a giant sort of plugging session now, isn't it? And then which I started. I'll put my hands up to. And then we've got Richie's solo channel, which at the moment is doing a fantastic job of raising the share prices of Tumbleweed.
There's no need for that.
Produce some content then.
Dude,
I'm getting better. I put up a video yesterday, which everyone should go and watch. We played the Flash game Agario. I had James, obviously, who's on the podcast with us now. He came round mine last night, and we played a couple of games. We did actually record a couple of other bits as well, which I haven't put up yet, because obviously I don't want to overload everyone with too many videos at once.
What is Agario, for those who are unfamiliar?
Agario is basically a Flash game in which you control a blob or a ball, and you play on sort of like a free-for-all map against other players. And the basic concept is you collect little dots that are situated randomly, and they sort of spawn randomly across the map. And as you consume them, you grow in size. Mm-hmm. Basically the concept is other people can eat your dot, if they are larger than you, and if you are larger than them, you can eat them. And basically the idea is to survive and not get eaten, and to eat other dots and become the largest dot on the board.
Okay. Sounds simplistic yet addictive.
It is very fun. We had a surprising amount of good time with it actually last night, and it's definitely worth a watch. It's surprisingly fun. It's worth a go as well. Okay. Really good fun.
Duly noted. As well, the podcast, we're currently looking into getting like a SoundCloud or iTunes thing. So, one of the two, SoundCloud, iTunes, probably both, because people have said they'd like to listen on, like their MP3 players, their phones, etc. So, we'll see. I think Terry was investigating the options. Any update on that, mate?
Oh, I mean,
this now sounds like an office conference call.
Right. No, I mean, I haven't.
Let's hear those figures.
Well, if you want me to start setting that up, if you want me to actually set that all up, then if it's my task to do, I'll get that sorted for this week, and we'll have that next week, and we can give you the details on next week's podcast.
That sounds good. So
can I just give another little plug for my channel? Actually, just an idea of what we're doing, what I'm planning to do going forward. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So, coming soon. Actually, the biggest plan I've got at the moment is that me and James are planning to do some races on GTA 5 online, which should be good fun. And the other one I'm planning on doing is some Killing Floor 2, and that'll obviously come back to the whole thing of early access, which I never really covered. So that'd be quite interesting to cover that.
Is your GTA 5 on PC?
It is on PC, yeah.
Oh, can I join you?
Oh, have you got it?
Yes, I've got it.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Terry, because we actually we need a fourth person for heists.
Yes!
We need a number 4, so here we go. Possible video series.
I'm tempted to see if I can slip a purchase past the other half.
It's gone down to about 26 quid on cdkeys.com.
Tempting.
It's very good. It's worth the money.
Although,
really
one other thing that me and Terry wanted to talk to you about, and it sort of occurs to me this is maybe chat for outside of the podcast, but Richie, do you have Payday 2?
I do.
We have Payday 2.
As does James.
Hooray! We can all play some Payday 2 and record that too.
Yeah.
Yes. So...
Let's do stuff. Heist.
Let's play games!
Yeah!
Why are we doing a podcast? Forget the podcast. Let's play some games.
Well, first, before we finish plugging ourselves, Shenmue 3 did some more plugging. It's getting really ambiguous. It's the most highly funded game on Kickstarter with something like $6 million. Terry did have a lot of facts and figures, but I've forgotten most of them. Sony have said that they are funding the PlayStation 4 port. However, how much of the work that actually entails is ambiguous at best. And
There's another backer as well, Shibuya
Shibuya.
Productions.
Yeah.
Wow, how do I have so much trouble saying it? It's not even that difficult of a word.
No.
But yeah, it's not clear how much that they're going to actually be adding to the pool and what kind of budget they're looking at working with overall as a total. But it's all very kind of vague. In all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those things that kind of turns into a Duke Nukem Forever sort of situation where it's being made, but it goes on for absolutely ages because of problems and having to pass it on to different studios constantly. That's what I'm predicting.
It's likely, isn't it? Because, I mean, we've got the release date of the end of 2017, but, I mean, how often do games get pushed back? I mean, it's
especially Kickstarter games.
Especially, as you say, especially Kickstarter games, and especially ones that have been over 14 years in the making or whatever it is.
Well, it's not 14 years in the making. It's been 14 years stagnating.
Well, yeah. And I mean, this isn't even the end of it, is it? He's not considered this to be the last chapter. He then wants to go and do another 1 or 2 games, if possible, after this.
What?
Exactly.
Yeah, this isn't going to be the end of it. Shenmue 3 isn't the end. It's not the end of the story.
Like when the Oddworld series originally said we're going to be a quintology and then had to stop after 3 parts because apparently Abe's Exodus doesn't count as one of the 7 or 8 or however many parts they wanted.
Odyssey and Exodus are like 1 part combined.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay, that was stupid. Munch's Odyssey is part 2, and Stranger's Wrath is, I believe, part 3. That still leaves like 4 parts or so that just haven't come out.
Well, maybe if the remakes get enough hype, they'll do parts 4 and 5 as well. I mean,
Exodus is getting remade.
Exactly. And New and Tasty has done well so far, I think. I mean, I've not checked out the figures for that. I mean, it's in terms of the quality of the game, I think it's amazing, but I don't know if it sold that well.
Right. I'm glad it got re-released. I put my money down for it on day 1 to support it because I really want to see Oddworld get finished. However, and I will go into this more in Remade, Repackaged, Rebooted as to why, the original is mechanically and aesthetically better than the remake.
Okay, yeah, you're going to need to do that as your next Remade Repackage then.
Well, my next Remade Repackage I've already promised will be Street Fighter 2 HD, which I've recorded the footage for. I'm just being a lazy arse on that one.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, I just need to like...
waiting too long, because you just like dropped a bombshell there, man. Like what you just did then was like mic drop, walk out. Like
how? How on earth was that a mic
drop? This game is better than this game in every single way, and I'm going to talk to you about it in this video. Boom.
Look forward to it. We're still plugging.
Going back to Shenmue, though, quite an interesting point. I've seen a lot of people talking about how a lot of people feel that now this has obviously been so highly funded and everything, that an HD remake of 1 and 2 is essentially inevitable.
Yeah.
But, I mean, is it, though? Do you think it is?
Well, there's already a fan HD remake of Shenmue, so even if it doesn't get an official one, there's sort of an unofficial thing in the works that hasn't been cease and desisted yet.
Yeah, yet being the word.
Yeah. We'll probably get to play, like, some kind of build of it at some point, like we did, the Sonic remake.
Well, if HD versions of 1 and 2 do come out, I will buy them on day of release.
I'll buy them, you'll buy them, Terry will buy them. James?
He possibly not.
No.
I've never played it.
But the fact that you've never played it... The fact that you've never played it and nobody else will shut up about it, does that not make you a little curious? Sorry, was that totes?
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. So...
Yeah.
we've discussed this in a previous podcast, haven't you? That I've never really... I mean, I've played like an hour into the first one, probably at most, and I've never obviously touched the second one, and yet I'm so hyped for Shenmue 3. And it's a weird feeling. So James, if they brought out 1 and 2, I'd be straight on it.
I'm not going to try and sell it to you too hard. All I'll say is it's a very unique game. It's unlikely you've ever played anything like it. You'll be able to see how its innovations have rippled throughout the rest of the industry and shaped games that followed in its footsteps. And it is one of those games where you will either absolutely adore it, or you'll despise it and hate it and not get along with it. It will be
That
one
sounds
extreme
worth
or
a
the
go.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if the remakes came out, I'd pick it up.
Okay, fantastic. So, let's move on to the fan questions of the week. We have 2 questions, both from the same guy. And James Thompset, which is weird. I'm used to Thompsons, not Thompsets. Anyway, he says, "Hey Sam, couple of questions for BGP. Hope you don't mind me contacting you through your Facebook fan page instead of the British Gaming Blog fan page." Well, you sort of said it right there, didn't you? So, 2 questions. 1, how popular would you need to get before you considered doing a live show as a panel at a convention?
What a fantastic question.
Oh, yeah. And 2, speaking of live and unedited, how much editing do you actually do when the podcast goes out?
I mean, no one would turn up, but I would do the panel tomorrow.
I would. I'm there. Like, any con wants to invite us. Like, I think
Well, you've done panels yourself before, haven't you, Sam?
Yeah, but I've done panels on how to make video games, how to draw comics, that kind of thing. I've done instructional panels, where I get to stand up and pretend to be an expert about something and talk at people for an hour. I've not done, like, hi, let's sit in a room, take some Q&A and, like, record a live podcast thing. Also, panels are very strict with timings. Like, you've got that room for an hour. You need 15 minutes for setup and take down either side. You gotta... And they want the next guys in. Like, we have a constant habit of... Our timings are... We average about an hour 20, but we're not strict enough with timings. I don't know if that would work. I think we'd get cut off mid-topic through them being like, the other guys need to come in to use the room for the next panel. Get out!
I think if push came to shove, we'd be all right. I think we could stick to timings if we had to, but we don't.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we don't really rehearse, because this kind of thing you can't rehearse. It is always off the cuff, unscripted. And to answer the second question, largely unedited. When this podcast started, I went through and I treated it like I would a normal YouTube video. I went through and I removed all of the any break or gap that was more than like half a second in length, which ended up like us sounding like 0 punctuation for the first couple of episodes. Just like no breaths or anything, just not quite like that, but you get the idea.
Well, people like the conversational tone, don't they? Like when I listen to
Yeah.
podcasts, I prefer it when they're all natural and the breaks in conversation. It just makes you feel like you're listening to a proper conversation rather than basically an edited video, as you said.
Yeah.
And here's the weird thing, like, if we went to, for example, KitterCon is like a week or 2 away. It's very, very soon, or it's just been one of the 2. And I'm very jealous of everyone who's going because it's one of my favourite cons, and this year I've not been able to go for numerous reasons. However, if you did a con there and it was just on the thing as British Gaming Podcasts, depending on what you were running against, you could possibly fill that room just out of curiosity alone.
Yeah,
Because
I
people
think
will
you're
see it on
probably
the
right.
schedule and be like, I'll give that a shot.
Yeah, well, we'd be like sort of the backup plan, wouldn't we? People would come to see us when there's nothing else to watch.
Should
we're
we
like
hit
the
the
support
bar? Should we
band.
go to the cosplay panel? Or should we go see what this podcast thing is? It's like, let's
We'd
go
have
see
to
what...
have like free booze in our room or something, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I turned
Or
up
we're,
to
or we're
it.
like the warm up before like Jim Sterling comes in or something.
It'd be the warm up act.
Oh god, I would have to go in with like some red aviator sunglasses, like my suit, a red tie, and like I've got some black gloves somewhere, just like sit down. It's like, actually, someone at work brought in some aviator sunglasses today, following our conversation about me looking like a non-fat Jim Sterling, because he was like, I don't think that photo comparison did it justice. Here's some aviator sunglasses. Wear them. So there's a photo on my Facebook right now of me wearing like Jim Sterling style aviator sunglasses.
I think my ultimate goal if we did a panel is I just want to give Jim Sterling a big hug. He seems very huggable.
If he came to the UK, which is an if, a but, and a maybe, but like Jesse Cox was at GemuCon, which was the first convention I ever sold at. I did not know who he or Dodger Lee were. Did I have half an hour to kill, and were they holding a panel? Yeah. Did I go along for the hell of it? Yeah. Did they come by my table later and buy a commission? Yeah.
Hey.
Sorry.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, if we ever got big enough to be a panel, to like do an actual panel at a convention,
This
I
is
think
my point.
I
I
think
don't
we'd
think
do
we
it.
have to be big. I think we could just like sign up for one because you. This is the scary thing about doing panels. No one checks your credentials. I've been advertised as a published comic book artist on a panel listing before. Nowhere did it say self-published. Nowhere did it say vanity published. No, it just said published.
Well, they're the little technical details, aren't they?
Semantics.
Yeah. Like, internet podcast, British gaming podcast. You know, that's all it would need to say. No one actually.
Yeah, it's the British Gaming Podcast.
Yeah, the British gaming podcast. British people talking about games. That's all the panel listing would be, and people would be like, "Yeah, okay, I'll go." Would you like to see us at a convention? Start harassing your convention organisers now to get us free accommodation and free travel, and we'll do it.
I think that'd be really interesting, actually. I'd be quite interested to see if anyone would. So they'd definitely leave us a comment and let us know, because it'd be interesting to know.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'd like to know if anyone would
Kishore
like to
and
give us money
Lupacillo
to
would
go
be
to a
like-
convention.
Kishore and Lupacillo would be like front row.
Yeah. We'd have to have goodie bags for them, wouldn't we?
Foam fingers
So-
and everything, you know.
As well as this new channel and our website and everything, we also have a Patreon page.
Disclaimer, we do not have a Patreon page.
Yeah, well,
Yet. Maybe that's something else we should discuss off air. Do we want a Patreon page?
Have you got any more fan questions this week?
No, that was it. The one guy who went through the wrong channel.
Oh, dear. Right. Well, then we've got plenty of time left still. So, what have we been playing this week, and what's been great about it?
Hang
who wants to start us
on.
off?
You're skipping
on.
my question of the week. That always follows the fan questions. We have a fucking order.
that's normally the last thing we do,
I thought you
isn't it?
went. Yeah, that's the one that's always left till last.
Well, it feels better after the fan questions. That's
All
what
right.
it sits.
All right,
It's
Sam.
naturally
Sam.
there.
It's all right, Sam. Go on.
All right, settle down.
Hey, my other
Ask-
half has been on her tea of the month, and it has been
Oh,
a
let's
very
have-
stressful week.
Let's hope she don't listen to this.
Oh,
You're
what are
in
you
trouble.
synchronising with her?
Something like that, yeah.
Is your aunt in town?
Aunt Flo.
Aunt Flo is rushing about like nobody's business. She wants to see all the sites.
Anyway.
She's particularly fond of the flumes.
Shout out to Sam's other half.
To women everywhere.
Shout out to Sam's other
I
half.
love how we
Menstruation's
started
very
this.
cool.
And we started this podcast talking about feminism, equality
This
for
is
women.
why feminism exists.
What, so that Sam's other half can punch him in the mouth for this podcast?
Something like that. Anyway, most disappointing video game purchase.
Oh, that's an interesting
Uh,
one.
Yeah. I'm gonna cop out here. I'm gonna go with Ground Zeroes. I thought people were joking when they said it could be beaten in 10 minutes. I expected a lot more bang for my buck. Although technically, as I said earlier, that was bought for me as a present from another job when I left. So I didn't technically purchase it. So I might have to think of a different answer.
No, but you repurchased it.
Oh, no, that time it sort of came with the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 came with like 5 games, and it was a really good price, so I didn't care what the games were.
Alright, I'm watching you, Webster.
Alright. I'm gonna pick
most
on one of you.
Trying to think. It's a really hard question, that is, actually.
Okay, Richie,
Yeah,
I'm picking on you
think-
for that.
What about you, Chaz?
Is he even there?
Alright, so
Oh, he's there.
mine I think would be GTA 4.
Yeah?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Want to
I
expand on
didn't
that at all?
like it. I've never finished it. I've never got more.
Chaz, we keep
I think it was
losing you.
crap.
We
Oh, really?
we hear like 3 words and then nothing.
Oh dear. It's probably not a very
Panic
popular opinion anyway.
We don't get signal.
I
Mainstream.
love how
turned
the
off.
Hold your PC up to the window.
Wave it around.
I love how the
No, I
only
just
bit
think-
that came through was, oh dear.
Oh, I've
Yeah,
got mine. I've got
Yeah,
one.
it looks a bit crap. It's crap.
Possibly not the worst game I've ever bought, but it's the only thing I can think of, the only thing I can see from here. I actually bought the Angry Birds game for the Xbox 360.
No.
Why would you do this?
I bought it as a present for my other half, Sophie, and
Oh yeah, I like this
it was
story.
just bad. Even she only had one go on it and never touched it again, and she loved Angry Birds. It controls
manage
horribly.
this?
It's sluggish. It's slow. It lags in places when too much is going on. It was just awful. It's such a cop out. It's such a money grabbing game, and I should have seen it coming really. But it seemed like a good present. I think it was like a birthday present or something. It seemed like a good idea at the time. But that was money I'll never get back.
No. Okay.
See, all I can think of is one that's been done to death and moaned about to death, but it was the first one that came to my mind: Sonic the Hedgehog 06. This this is one of the games I got with my Xbox 360. I can't. It was a Christmas gift. I can't remember whether it was bundled with it or what. I really don't want to know. But yep, I had that with it, and my experience of it was, I want to like this. I want to like this. Please let me like you. You won't let me like you. And then eventually it just got to the point where I was just like, nope.
Yeah,
No.
I've never touched that game, but I've watched videos of it, and it's just, I couldn't even finish the video watching it. It was so bad.
Millions of loading screens, a weird kind of interspecies relationship between Sonic and a human, extra hedgehogs, because, we always need extra characters in Sonic games. There's not enough of those fuckers already. What else?
Thought of
got
another
mine.
one. Thought of another game that Sam might be able to relate to.
Go on.
Knight's Journey into Dreams.
Oh god, that wee piece of shit.
That was rubbish, wasn't it? That was awful.
And for Scottish viewers, I'm not calling it a little piece of shit. I mean a piece of shit that came out on the Wii.
It was dreadful.
I got one sort of half pity laugh out of Jazz there.
Oh, no, I'm
But
just...
I get the joke.
Sorry, no, I was just too busy cringing remembering the fact that they gave Knights a voice, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
I've got mine. And you're going to hate me for mentioning the franchise, and you're not going to be able to relate to the game, so I apologise on both counts. Galarian's Ash. Now, anybody who has watched my channel for any length of time, or even listened to this podcast, knows that I will not shut the fuck up about Galarians on the PlayStation 1.
It's on every one of your top 10 list, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I probably love that game more than I should. I probably hold that game in a much higher regard than it deserves.
I thought he was about to say, I probably love that game more than my family.
A little bit. But
Definitely
no,
don't let her listen to this.
Oh, like she would anyway. Anyway. Yeah, the original Galarians is on all of my top 10 lists. Whether it's through nostalgia or what, I don't know, but I love that game to hell. Still, it's like an annual playthrough, easily. And then I learned that there was going to be a sequel, and I learned it was going to be on PlayStation 2. And I figured out very quickly that, like the first game, this was going to be quite a cult-following game. Low print run, not easy to find. It's one of the few games I ever felt the need to pre-order, and the store I pre-ordered it from, literally my pre-order copy, was the only copy of Galarian's Ash they ordered in. It's
Oh,
also the first game that I have pre-ordered and sold back to the store within a week.
yikes.
Galarian's Ash absolutely shits on everything good about Galarians. I pretend it doesn't exist. The first thing it does is essentially it retcons the ending of the first game just to facilitate the fact that there's a sequel all of a sudden.
Ugh.
Yeah, one of those. It's like, we'll pretend the first game's ending didn't really happen. It's when you see it, like, my suggestion would be, if you're gonna play Galarian's Ash, don't. But if you absolutely have to, out of morbid curiosity after hearing this, please play Galarian's one first. And then you'll understand, from the get-go, within 5 minutes once you've watched that opening cutscene, and in fact, when you're on the very first map of the game, you will understand what's wrong. And then as you continue to play, it only gets worse. And not just in terms of story, in terms of gameplay, somehow they managed to make a PlayStation 2 sequel clunkier to play than its tank-controlled PlayStation 1 older brother.
Tank control.
Yeah.
Is that a term that you guys came up with? Because I've never seen it online anywhere.
No, that is a term
It's,
that
it's a real term. Tank control is a real thing.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the term that I've picked up from... I can't remember where I first heard it, but I've picked it up from the internet.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Fair. So we've got Sonic 06, we've got Galarian's Ash.
Also, contenders for that would have been other contenders: Final Fantasy 13,
Yep.
Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm.
Yeah. Driver 2, and Driver 3, for that matter. Crash
For me-
Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex.
Yeah, and Twinsanity.
Tony Hawk's Underground.
This is a lot of worst games.
Well, it's not so much worse, just more disappointing. Like,
Dino Crisis 3.
yeah.
Oh, speaking of Dino, I was really disappointed when I bought Dino D-Day for 69p in the Steam sale.
What the bloody hell is Dino D-Day?
I've so nearly picked that up so many times,
Well,
and after
you
your
know-
review, I'm glad I didn't.
You know how in every single video game now the Nazis invented zombies?
Right.
In Dino D-Day, they resurrected the dinosaurs, and you play. It's literally it's an online team versus team deathmatch game, but the Germans are are dinosaurs with guns on their back, and the Americans are just people. Not as good as advertised.
I was going to say, you're making
See,
it sound pretty good.
The concept sounds amazing, but in practice, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you play it and you're like, this is funny. And then 10 minutes later, you're like, this is shit. and then that's it.
Oh,
and
sorry, one more to throw in the pile. Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22.
yeah.
Dragon Ball Z Taiketsu on the Game Boy Advance. Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi.
I can't relate to Dragon Ball games, so I'm going to take your word for this.
I'm a bit hit and miss. Weirdly, like Sam, you'll probably cringe at Dragon Ball Final Bout. I actually kind of enjoy that game, but I think it's more for nostalgia than quality.
I like Final Bout. It's Ultimate Battle 22 I can't stand. Final
Yeah,
Bout
that
has
was
an
horrible.
amazing opening theme. That alone saves it.
I know, right? I'm gonna have to play that after this podcast.
It's going to be on your MP3 player for like 2 weeks straight.
I've got another one for you, actually.
Dude, I'll do a let's play of it.
Oh, yes, do it. Richie, what's yours?
Dead Island. Did you ever play that?
Oh, yeah.
That was
Dead
disappointing
Rise.
as hell. That had the potential to be so good, and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
It was so bland and repetitive and boring.
Yeah, really was.
Yeah. Based on that trailer as well, that trailer was awesome.
Oh, the trailer sold it. That's why I bought it. The trailer just absolutely sold it.
On a similar note,
why non-gameplay trailers should be illegal.
on a similar note,
Illegal. Criminal offence.
every single Dead Rising that was not Dead Rising 1 on the Xbox 360, Dead Rising 1 I loved to pieces, and on my old Let's Play channel, I had a 50-part Let's Play of that, which was a near perfect run.
I remember
I
you
think,
trying
like,
to get me to play that.
oh god, so good. You've still got an Xbox 360, Richie. The game goes for like £3. Just buy it. Just
All
do
right.
it.
Probably got it.
Yeah.
I probably have got it somewhere. Yeah.
In
Yeah,
fact, I
that's
think
still
that
on
was
my-
a
that's
I
still
think
on my
that was a free
backlog.
game with gold.
Oh, excellent.
Probably.
I'm
There you
pretty
go then.
sure I got it on Games with Gold. Actually,
Ignore Dead Rising 2. Ignore Dead Rising 2 off the record. Ignore Dead Rising 2 Day Zero, Case Zero, whatever they called the prequel. Ignore Dead Rising 2, whatever it is, where Chuck Green and Frank West team up and go into that
how
factory.
many Dead Rising 2s are there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
4
someone
Dead
at
Rising
Capcom figure out how to
2s.
count?
That's the point, Sam. Are you interested in Dead Rising 3 now that you can have a PC that can run it, or are you still kind of a bit not sure about it?
I'm very not sure about it, considering how much I loved Dead Rising 1, but really didn't like any version of Dead Rising 2.
See, I really want Dead Rising 3, but the thing is, I only want it with that ridiculous DLC with a really long name where it's all crazy and
Oh, where it's like
cartoony and you
super
do
hyper.
Hadoukens and stuff.
Yeah, Super Hyper Turbo Championship Edition or something.
Yeah, it goes on for so long. It's just self-mockery, basically, but it just looks so ridiculously fun, but it's an Xbox One exclusive, which saddens me still.
Hmm. Still, there's not a lot you can do about that except for buy an Xbox One, and that's not going to happen anytime soon for either of us. Because
No.
we just don't want the thing. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, so, what are we all playing this week?
who wants to go first?
I don't mind taking it.
Go on.
Go for
Okay.
it.
Well, I've obviously, as we discussed a little while ago, I've been playing the Batman game that Sam very kindly gifted me. Enjoying that very much. Other things I've been playing,
You don't have to mention it was a gift every single podcast, dude.
I'm just very grateful. That's what it is.
If you, by the way, if you like Sam's video enough times, you'll get each of you a copy.
Yeah, that's what.
No,
that's what
I will not.
He told us that before the podcast.
Yeah, if you see Sam in the wild, you just have to ask him and he'll buy you a drink.
For a minute there, I thought you were like, you just have to ask him, and he will give you a copy of Batman Arkham Asylum.
He
Like, I
carries
just
around
have some
in his
kind
bag with him.
It's like a bat utility
Ten
belt
copies
full
at
of
all
nothing but
times.
Arkham Asylum. It's like PC, PS3, Xbox 360. What do you want? I got Game of the Year. I got Vanilla.
Here you go, child. Take it and go.
I've even got a
Enjoy
chocolate
the
flavour.
Batman.
If you want to eat your code once you're done with it.
Tell everyone that Sam gave this to you.
And if you're really good, I might give you a limited edition Batarang version, which comes with a really horrible, tacky plastic Batarang.
You didn't get me that version.
No, that's because you weren't a good boy.
Ah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Anyway, what else have I been playing? Killing Floor 2, Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Can't wait for the DLC for that later this year. Going to be fantastic.
Agario, or whatever it was called.
Gario, yeah. I won't give away the other game we were playing last night because I'm not sure about the quality of the video.
Oh, sell it, Richie.
No, the video itself is brilliant. I mean the actual video quality, as in it's a bit pixelated in places.
Oh, the capture.
I
right,
watched
right.
it already. It
Yeah.
looked fine.
Yeah, the Agario one came out perfectly, but the other game we played didn't look so good when it had been
Oh.
recorded. I think that might have been the way I had my capture set up.
This is the thing, not everybody full screens YouTube, so you might get away with that.
Well,
Not
it's
that
the
I'm
thing.
invoking poor quality video.
Well, that's the thing. I might put it up just because we've done it and it's ready to go. So, I mean, what have I got to lose? At least I've learned the lesson now. I can start recording things in higher quality going forward. Well, are we playing anything else? No, I think that's about it at the moment, actually. I think that's my quota.
Alright, I'm gonna jump in. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I've played it
Fuck you.
Why have you been playing that, Sam?
because we got a race tomorrow. I'm
I
gonna
might
be
actually
honest.
finish this one.
Yeah. Well,
We'll see. We'll see.
This is good.
I played it on the PS3 using the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. I played my original Mega Drive copy, and I've played it on the emulator that we'll be running it on for the race.
So you've already ran it 3 times?
Yes.
God damn it.
Oh.
Is it
What's-
different?
What's the forfeit game this time? I better prepare myself.
We were between a few. There was Tails Adventure on the Game Gear. I suggested the Master System version of Sonic Spinball, but apparently Terry will refuse to race if that's the forfeit game.
Yeah, I'm absolutely refusing with that. That would take so long to do.
Yeah, something like Tails Sky Patrol did.
Well, that wasn't too bad, especially as I got really cheap and used a little loophole because you didn't say I couldn't.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Um, there's a few. Ken Sidon on the Master System. I think that would break you. Um, like, I wouldn't even ask you to finish the game. I would be like, you know what, if you reach 20 minutes of Ken Sidon, it's fine. You can quit. Um,
Well, that would just be one video. That
yeah,
would
yeah,
it
pretty much.
actually is the let's play any percent because if I get game over, then I can just stop at that point, right?
Yeah, any percent, any percent. So if we did Sonic Spinball and you game overed naturally, not through killing yourself, um, then yeah, you'd be done. But you'd have
Oh,
to use all your continues.
fair enough.
If you have a continue, you have to use it. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I think Sonic Triple Trouble could be a good one.
yeah, that's a candidate. That is certainly a candidate.
I was actually
Um,
thinking about this earlier, and I thought
How
about
about if the winner chooses the forfeit game?
that's an
hang
interesting
on,
one.
Richie was. What were you thinking, Richie?
I was thinking possibly because I mean I don't know how you feel about this game, but I think it's not necessarily a bad game, but a hard game. Knuckles Chaotix.
Oh shit. Yeah, I can get all the way up to like that Red Emperor Metalix, and then I'm. And yes, I read the Sonic comics in the UK. I will always refer to them as Metalix, not Metal Sonic. Do one.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that might not be a bad idea.
yeah, that could work.
Put it in a
I'm
pool.
I'm really up for that actually. I'm curious about the game because I've not really had much time to play it. I only owned a 32X for like a couple of months and I sold it because I was just like I'm never going to play this thing.
Possible race then.
One I would put forward, which not many people have played, but you'd certainly hate if you had to do it. Master System game, Tom and Jerry the movie.
I can't
Huh?
say I've seen that.
No,
Didn't know that was a
never.
thing.
It's awful. It is
It
maybe
doesn't
one of the
sound
worst
great.
Master System games I've played. But I would force you to play it.
All right. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We should probably wrap up with our games of the week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's everyone else been playing?
Well, I only said Sonic 3. You
Right,
git.
finish off, Sam.
Alright. So, Batman Arkham Knight, I've been mopping up some side quests.
Mm.
World of Illusion, starring Mickey and Donald, one of my absolute favourite Mega Drive games. Fantastic co-op game. There's no particular reason I've been playing that and recording footage, no! And just because I fancied some PlayStation gaming, some Monkey Hero, and a little bit of Final Fantasy IX. Started a new file on that.
Nice.
Yeah. Terry, you're still to
Okay.
go.
Oh, my turn. Okay, a bit more Hyrule Warriors. I think I'm getting near the end of the story on that. Not 100% sure. But yeah, basically, for anyone who's not played it so far, it's Dynasty Warriors in Zelda World, and it's absolutely amazing. It's colourful, and it's just very, very Moorish. Like, the combat on it, you just want to keep going and going. You'll get like 500 KOs. It's just like, oh, I want to get to 1,000 now. So it's pretty neat like that. Additionally, on top of that, I've been doing some Arkham Knight, just sort of blitzing through the story. I'm probably going to 100% it once all the bugs and everything are fixed on it, but at the moment, I just really want to sort of see how it ends, and I don't want to YouTube it to do that. So that's my other one. And another game as well that I've been playing a little bit of is a little indie game called Skydrift, which I actually wanted to recommend to you guys, partially you, Sam. It's a kind of aeroplane racing racing game. It handles similarly to the planes in All Stars Racing, and you get like weapons and power ups and stuff like that. I bought it on Steam sale for like £3. It's an indie game on there, and it's only about 500 megabytes as well. But it actually looks beautiful. Like, do you remember how good Battlefield 1943 looked for a 500 meg game? It's like that.
There is a game and a half. I need to play that again now.
Exactly.
Does that even still work anymore, that game? Does the servers still exist for that?
I
Probably.
think you can still do peer-to-peer.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, no, Skydrift, definitely really highly recommend that game. I'd put that in my freebie of the month if it was free.
Fair enough. And Chaz, assuming that we get you when you come through, what have you been playing this week?
I've been getting towards the end of Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Okay.
On Steam. I picked it up in the Steam sale. I just previously finished Borderlands 2, so I picked it up. It's a really great game, if anyone's played it or not played it. Kind of RPG mixed with first-person shooter. I'd highly recommend playing it. I've sunk a lot of hours into those games.
I think
and I was
it's
actually
best
looking
described as an FPS dungeon crawler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think by its critics, people kind of say, it's not RPG enough to be an RPG, and it's not shootery enough to be a shooter. But for me, it's quite a good mix, and the story's great, the comedy's great. It's worth a go if you can pick it up. And I was looking for some help actually on my next game because I bought 3 games in the Steam sale, and I don't know which one to start next.
Okay.
So I got Skyrim, which I haven't played yet. I got Far Cry 3, which I haven't played yet,
Ooh.
and Mass Effect.
Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3.
So which one?
Far Cry 3.
Mass Effect.
Far Cry 3.
I've only played Skyrim out of those 3, and I played a bit of the first Mass Effect.
Well, it's okay. So
You're
what
not
is it
helping.
right? What is it you're looking
One
for?
vote for each.
What is it you're craving out of your next game? Like, what sort of style are you craving, or like kind of gameplay?
Well, I was kind of leaning towards Far Cry to start with because I've just played 2 RPGs. I've just played 2 games that are super long. I put like 95 hours into Borderlands 2, and I'm currently at 25 on pre-sequel. So I'm going to get to 30 or 40 at least, I'd have thought, before I finished. So I wanted something a bit shorter. So I was leaning towards Far Cry, but the other 2 are meant to be amazing. So
yeah. Oh, if you want something shorter and awesome, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would back that, actually. The thing with Far Cry 3 is you can beat the main campaign in about 8-9 hours. However, you will get so distracted and you'll go do a million other things and you'll have clocked up 20-30 hours before you know it.
Yeah. Blood Dragon 3 Blood Dragon, however, you can clock up all those other things and do all that, and that'll take you about 8 or 9 hours to 100% it.
I don't know, I just said 12 to 13 hours to 100% Blood Dragon.
Well, then you played it slower than me.
Okay, show off.
Fighting talk. Oh, it sounds like Far Cry is. I think I'm going to go to Far Cry next.
Yeah, because the thing
Oh
is...
yeah, next race.
No. Yeah, the thing with Far Cry, I think, is you're quite right. You can just do that. It's a standalone story. You won't be like, ooh, I must jump into 4 now. Although I admittedly did. Mass Effect, on the other hand, you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. It's
Yeah.
you can't not do 2 and 3 after you finish number 1. And Skyrim, good God, I'm not sure Skyrim ends. The story clearly ends. The story ends within about 6 or 7 hours. But the actual main game, everything else you can possibly do, getting all the side quests and all the stuff that's actually more interesting than the main quest line. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I don't, even in like 50 odd hours, I still hadn't uncovered just all of the locations on the map,
Yeah, it's a very big game, isn't it, Skyrim?
Too big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Skyrim, like, if, your boss, your friends, and your family don't mind if they don't see you for the next 6 months, then yeah, Skyrim.
Yeah, I'm just looking, actually. My brother-in-law has got Skyrim, and he's clocked 346 hours on Steam. So
Good lord.
that is a
I think
hefty-
Skyrim's going to be one for the winter months.
Yeah,
And you're not
thinking
going
I'm
out
gonna
as
leave
much.
that. I think I'm going to leave Skyrim. I'm going to go with Far Cry.
Okay.
You've helped me
Yay!
decide.
Woo! To be fair, it was a sensible choice considering what he was looking for, and Terry was the only one among us smart enough to actually ask, so what kind of game do you want to
Yeah.
play? Because Terry's the only one not trying to push his own agenda here.
Well, I was trying to push it, but then I thought, how can I do this more manipulatively?
Yeah, very subtle.
Damn it,
manipulation.
Terry, I was gonna try and tell people that you actually care.
No, I'm not the nice one. Me and you are dicks. Richie's the nice one. That's how this dynamic works.
Richie, the nice one. You realise Richard can be shortened to Dick, right?
If you're a dick.
That's what makes it ironic. It's like muscly guys called Tiny.
Hi, Crash Bandicoot reference. How are you today?
Yeah, good reference. I like that.
Yeah. Speaking of, we've run over again, just like we would in a panel situation. So thank you very much for joining us once again. Remember, future episodes, well, maybe we'll put the next episode on my channel just so that we can get the, hey, we're moving the podcast at the start instead of halfway through. But yeah, I'm in the process of re-uploading the previous podcasts to the new channel. Join us over there next week when we will do this all again. Terry, anything you want to say?
Thank you for listening this week, folks, and I hope you enjoyed my topic list, and I'll try and do some more of those in future to save Sam having to do it all the time.
Thank you. Richie?
Yeah, just thanks for listening. I try and get on the podcast on YouTube and reply to the comments where possible, but because we obviously, if we're not Sam, we don't get the notifications. I don't always see them straight away, but hopefully having it all in one place means we can interact with you all a lot better.
Yeah, having the one channel that all three of us have the password and sign in, and that too means that we can all pop on there and say, hey.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Exactly.
Me too. I'll get in on the bants as well.
Community interaction's good. I like it.
Although, I'm thinking on the joint one, maybe it'd be good to look at the notifications, but reply to comments using our soul account so that they can tell which of us they're talking to.
Or just
Or
sign
at
off
the
the
very
comment.
least at the end of yeah.
Yeah, just put a little dash and then like an S, an R, or a T. Hey! In the alphabet, RST. We all join up in the alphabet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, Sam.
Well
Learning is
done.
fun.
Following that bombshell, Chaz, anything to say to the folks at home?
I don't think I can follow that. Just thanks for having me. Do it again sometime.
Okay. Hopefully your mic will work a little better.
Yeah, with a bit of luck.
I'm sure he'll be in some of my future Let's Plays as well.
Yeah.
True.